What's going on, guys? Alex from Hidden Falls Media, and I am here with the one and only, the original OG, Franky Castle. Franky, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing great.
I am fired up. We were chatting before we hit the record button on this, just listening to your story and really getting a pulse of what you've gone through and how you've gotten to where you are today. Uh, I I know my audience is going to love this conversation. I'm stupidly excited for it. Why don't you share the origin story? What's the comic book 001 edition of Franky Castle, and how did we get to where he is today, coming at the end of COVID, hopefully towards the end of 2020?
Right. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm gonna shorten it up as much as I can, but it's a long story. But like I was telling you earlier, bro, freshman year in high school, that was my intro really to the arts. I really gravitated towards the graffiti. I mean, that was appealed to me because, of course, not only the arts, but the we called them pieces, murals, but the adrenaline, they're doing outlaw shit. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, just the adrenaline, that was part of it. But the arts was definitely the main thing for me. And we hit it hard, man. It was an influence that came from LA over to Orange County. So it was authentic, the group I was with. And it was just like we hit it really hard to the point where it was they were taking my friends in jail. They never picked me up in that sense, but I had to pivot. In other words, I had to make a change there because it wasn't good. It wasn't going the right way for me. And I did. So I stopped doing the arts, and I picked up a basketball and just did well high school. I loved it. To this day, it's one of my other passions is basketball, shooting hoops and all that. But I did that for just high school. Yeah, I was hoping the Lakers would pick me up, but they didn't pick me up. But after that, I got into some trouble, man, because my voice. I didn't speak about this, but my voice for me as an artist, I've always been an artist. I've loved the arts. That was for me. That's a way for me to communicate, to channel out my emotions and all that. Well, since I didn't have that, really, and I come from a lot of adversity as far as the environment I grew up in. Was a neighborhood, drug infested, gang infested, violence. I mean, to the max, bro. This was very, 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 very rough neighborhood that I didn't realize it until I moved out. And I'm talking, I was 8 years old. I remember all this stuff. My dad was battling his demons, and he was amongst that crowd. Addicted to heroin, alcohol. Just battling his demons, man. And it trickled onto us, the family. 5 kids, my mom, she's an angel. She kept us together, just an angel, man. Just worked hard, everything. But we were out in the streets. My older brother kind of took the baton, when my dad was in prison, and he became our father figure, So I love my brother to death because of that, because he had to sacrifice, his youth to take care of us, siblings, welfare, you name it, man. So that's all. You can imagine all those emotions in me, and with no answers for me. So the streets was where it was at. The family, for me, the family outside of my immediate was out in the streets, and until you start heading, towards the bad stuff, which I did. I ended up in jail for fighting, looking at 15 to 20 years for brawls and just stuff that my emotions were going the wrong way. So I had to pivot once again, man. I got out of jail the last time, and I tried to get a job the right way. What I mean the right way is by being honest, taking responsibility of all my action, everything that I've done that landed me to the position I was at, filling out the application and hitting felony, assault with a deadly weapon, my hands and feet, and I did that, and I just didn't get hired, and I knew I was great in the interviews, and like, man, it really fired up my emotions, in a good way. I was like, dude, I'm just not getting traction. I'm getting overlooked. I'm being honest with the felony. And so I decided to that was a big part of my life right there, is I decided to hire myself. That simple. It just hit me. I said, you know what? uh, fuck them. You know, I don't know how your audience is with the F bombs, but that's exactly what I said. Fuck them. I'm gonna hire myself, and I did. So that started my entrepreneurial, endeavors. Brick and mortar, beepers. It was the beepers, if you guys remember, the beepers days. Basically, the only doctors and drug dealers had beepers back then.
Yeah.
Very contrast, but it started hitting, the mainstream, and it went big, man. The beeper days were good. Transitioned into cell phones, digital. We were back in the analog days, so I did that for 17 years. I had 3 stores at one point, and I did that for 17 years, and I hit a crossroads, man. In 2016, I hit a crossroads. A little before that, 2015, because in 2016 I sold my business to go all in. But the crossroads for me was, man, I was tired of that industry. I was tired of spinning my wheels. I was tired. I was a good boss. I had employees. They loved me. They worked hard. I trained them. We did everything. But I was a terrible manager. I couldn't allocate. I was terrible. So for me to get to that realization, shout out to Gary V. He helped me out with that book, Crush It. I had just started listening to him. And it was like, wow, dude, I got to figure out what the hell,
Yeah.
what moves me, what's my element, what's my gift. And I didn't know, art. I've always been an artist. I mean, I'm telling you, I cut my own hair, I play music, guitar, drums. I just coined this on my hashtag first time. I didn't see nobody putting it on there, but I call myself a full breed artist. I'm a full breed, meaning anything on the creative side, anything with the music, anything that's got to do with any of that stuff. Since I was a kid, I just gravitate to.
Mm-hmm.
I gravitate to, and I love it. And it's not easy. I tell kids, because I do a lot of community work too in my community and try to give back. I tell kids, man, it's not easy for me. It's simpler. It's natural. That's what it is. It's natural for me, but it's not easy. Nothing's easy, guys. You're gonna have to put in the work, but it does. It feels natural to me, as an artist. So I decided after that Gary V book, man, it really pushed me to really focus on my art, and that's what I'm strong at. As I still owned the business, I was starting to do art walks, just to make sure that my art's gonna sell. The market. Learning from my mentors. The market. I gotta test my product out there. Because my mom doesn't count, my brother doesn't count, my aunt. No, they're gonna buy my work and tell me I'm awesome. No, it's the regular folks, that's gonna spend their hard-earned money in exchange for something that I created. That's the test. The marketplace, and the marketplace is the marketplace, right? So that's what I did, man. I went out and hit the art walks, nervous, scared, you name it. This is all new to me, but I was like, man, I got to get out there. I know I got to get out there. If it's scary, right? It's a good sign. That means that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
If you're nervous, right, you're doing the right thing. If it doesn't, then you should maybe up it up a little bit. So with that in mind, yeah, man, I hit the ground running. I hit the ground running. I hit every art walk I could. Painted from after I closed up the shop, 8 till 2 in the morning, 3, opened up the shop. So I picked up some momentum, and sure enough, it all paid off, man. Because 6 months later, I was voted top 10 Orange County artist in Orange County. Mind you, I hadn't painted for 26 years, bro. So I just picked up and just went at it. And you can tell, for me, I can tell early works to where I'm at now. Yeah, other people that they love art and everything, and oh, that's beautiful. For me, I'm like, I like to challenge myself and progress and learn and see why and explain. Especially when it's I haven't done it for 26 years, and back then I was out running amok. So this is all new to me, the art world. But I just knew from the entrepreneurial 17 years of falling on my face, getting up, grinding, opening up the shop, bad decisions, bad investments, losing money, just still getting up. I mean, I think the lessons were there, bro. So I'm not your typical artist where the business is very foreign.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because that's all they do is art, and they had never done the business. I did things backwards, man. I did the business first, and I had my ace right here, which is the art, but I just didn't know that I can make a career, make a living out of it. And one thing I didn't mention to you, man, as when I started to make that decision, like, dude, what I need to do something I love. Well, I went back to the Art Institute of Orange County. Shout out in Orange County. They shut it down now, but it's the art school. And man, I was like a kid in a candy store, bro. I barely got out of high school. I barely, academics, I'm terrible. But in that class, in that school, I signed up. I did a full year. Bro, I was the first one, first in the seats. Before, I would be in the back hiding. Don't pick me, nervous. Dude, I was in the front. I got straight A's, bro. Because it's art, every other student there was just as crazy as me. And the teacher was as crazy of all. So it was right in my element. When I mean crazy, I mean the artistic, design and just thinking outside the box kind of feel. Nothing that I got in high school. High school was just straight down the line. Do this, do that. And I just like, whoa. I was in La La Land, just daydreaming, just daydreaming. So that was huge for me, man. I lost my place, bro. Where was I at?
What an incredible origin story. And for those people that are listening right now, to be able to put themselves in that shoe, use a moment of empathy. Let's just take a pause on that. To be able to put yourself inside of young Franky's shoes, somebody that was going down the wrong path, but had that conscious awakening of, I've got to make a choice in my life, right? Sitting in the high school, sitting in the back of the class, not being the one to put yourself out there, to be in that emotional spot, right? It sounds like there was a ton of locked up feelings and emotions that just, you didn't have that creative outlet to push and really drive that energy through.
Absolutely.
And learning through the process of struggle, through the place of recognizing and looking at your friends kind of drop off the face from you, from making these decisions that you were going down, and totally transforming and doing a 180 on that. And now living in a spot where you're breathing in and really, and it sounds like you've really honed in on who you are and what that spiritual, emotional, and physical growth looks like for you, and really found that purpose and that calling. And that's something that takes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of time to really marinate. It's not something that happens overnight. And I feel like there's so much pressure for young kids. And I felt it too when I was going through high school. Like, you're at this split second of where you've got, really 2 years once they start to plant that idea of either college, minimum wage jobs, or military, and really starting to put that through. And it's like, well, fuck, like there's creatives out there, and I consider myself one as well. I play guitar, I paint, I draw. So I'm right there with you as far as like, it didn't really feel like there was a place to push that where I was going to thrive. And it wasn't until you started to really, from what I'm understanding, until you started to really separate yourself and dedicate yourself to that craft, and you came to that crossroads and said, I'm going all in on myself. Right? I can't trust the world around me to provide for me. I have to depend on me. Out of anybody else, I know I can depend on me and step into that role. And it sounded like once you really own that and started to drive that force, that's when the world started to shift. It was paired up with hard work. It was paired up with the vision, but taking that internal ownership and really living in that sounded like what took you from that origin story comic book up to full-blown superhero. Which, I mean, dude, your story is totally blowing me away. Every time, since I've heard it, it's just every single time it's just blowing me back further and further.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, there's more. I'm still, like I said, man, I'm still struggling, bro. After 4 years, I just posted something on my gram. After 4 years, a real summary, like a real small post on there. But at the end, it's like, guys, I'm still 4.5 years later, I'm still struggling. It takes time, guys. Just understand that this is not an instant gratification, and I understand that, and I'm still grinding, but I see it. I believe it. I visualize it, and this is part of the process. As to sometimes, a lot of times before, man, I get impatient, very impatient. It's natural. We want it. I get impatient. I have to remind myself, or, the universe or whoever's out there reminds me, you know, bam, I hit a wall, you know. So I'm conscious of that now, man. I understand it's gonna take time. You know, pick up the fucking shovel. You know, that's our mentor, Arte. That's a whole nother chapter right there, right? How we got connected with the Arte Syndicate. But I've learned so many lessons through those entrepreneurial mentors and colleagues, you know, like you guys, like-minded. And that's one message that it really hit me, man, is pick up the fucking shovel, Frank. You know, I have a little voice I tell myself every time, like, oh, no, pick it up. Just pick it up. That's the first thing we don't want to do is the hard shit, you know, and really the hard shit is where
it's that separator.
The growth is at. Yeah, that's where the growth is at.
That's the separation.
Grit. Mm-hmm.
You hit on a really, really interesting point, which I've noticed a lot in my life too, which is when I try to force past this idea of time or patience, I get hit really hard with my own shit that I put out there that's now coming back to hit me again.
Yes, absolutely.
That patience and that extra where it's like, yeah, it's finding that weird and kind of strange balance between I'm being aggressive at the micro level, but being patient on a big scale. Because I've noticed when I try to rush the big scale, everything starts to fall apart. And it's understanding, like you were saying, that it takes time. And if you know that time is the main variable for this, along with hard work and picking up the shovel and showing up every day and accepting the fact that there's grit and determination that goes into it, it almost makes the process easier to kind of understand, because then you're sitting back saying, okay, I understand that what I've signed up for now. I understand. I have clarity on what I've signed up for and what I'm getting myself into. There's no fooling that this equation might shift over different, like some weeks I might have to put in more than others. Some days are more often than others, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still pushing me forward and I have to show up and do the work.
Absolutely, man. I think that's in the beginning. It was always a hard part, you know, because you put in the work, and you don't see. Sometimes you go backwards, you know, and you have to. It's part of the process to move forward. You got to take some of those lumps, you know, because I'm like that. It takes me a minute. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, bro. It takes me a few to get it, but once I get it, though, I get it. You know, I'm like, all right, let's go. I think that's one thing I can be proud of is you know, it gets thrown around a lot, but there's no quit in me. No, I've quit before, man. I'm more open now. Before I used to hide a lot of stuff, you know, but right now I'm to the point. It's like, why, man? Why am I hiding all this insecurity? Why? Because of that, you know. No, man. Now it's so liberating to open up and just be real, you know, and just be real, because that's how you're going to connect with my clientele, my customer base. So I'm a full-time artist. So by me being transparent and honest and clear, I think that really helps, you know, it really helps the anxiety, the nerves, you know, it just meditation, going right into that. That's helped me a lot to quiet all that storm that wants to get out here so far up. Like, dude, slow down, bro. You know, get in the now. The now is a big word right now, right? The now, you know, and it's true. Like, son of a gun, dude. My first meditation session, you know how long it took me, bro? What? I'm not kidding. You know how long I was able to sit down in a meditation session? 1 minute, bro. Before I was like, I gotta get up. But then it took 2 minutes, you know, and then it took 5 minutes. Now I'm up to 20 minutes. You know, it takes time. It goes right back to that. Yeah. It takes time, guys. You know, one step over the next one. It takes time. Yeah. And yeah, man, I'm grateful for that, man. I'm grateful for everything, really, bro. If it wasn't for those things, all that hardship and adversity, that's how jet fuel, man. I tell people sometimes, man, I'm like, dude, honestly, I feel like I'm cheating. Honestly, I feel like I have a big advantage, bro. I am cheating. I have so much adversity, so much fucking heartache, so much emotions that I can pull from, you know, to get to my shit. I feel like I'm cheating. You guys don't have that shit. I got that shit. So I was like, holy shit, wait a minute. Let's talk about perspective, you know. I have every reason to go the other way and say, well, fuck you guys because of this. My dad was in prison, fucking, you know, drugs, abuse, you name it. I have the right to be the way. Fuck no. I'll use it the other way. So you know what? Now I feel like I'm cheating, bro. I'm like, dog, you ain't gonna, you know. I just talked to my bit. Who says that? Goggins, my bitch voice. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta check. You gotta check that voice, man, because that's the one
You
that's
got to tell
always
that thing to sit down and shut up.
yeah, 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 yeah. What's he say? There's the saber-tooth tiger. There's no saber-tooth tiger out here, bro. It makes sense though. You know why it's there? It's there to protect you. But knowing, you know, when it's protecting you and when it's hurting you, that's the gold right there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's the gold. Like, all right, now that's being conscious, that's being mindful, that's being, you know, all that stuff. To where if you don't know that, then you're just not there yet. You're just not there. That frequency, you need to raise that frequency. You know, you need to surround yourself, like you said, around like-minded that are there, that are gonna pull you
Yeah.
there, pull you up there. You know, if you and it works both ways, negative and positive. You know, I'm gonna go hang out with the neighborhood thugs. Guess what? They're gonna pull me to that level. So that's huge, man. And you're right. You hit it right on the money. That's what I've been doing, is surrounding myself, getting into this group. This is, you know, I just came back. I just came back actually, man. I was a founding member first year, excited, stoked. And then another part of my story, man. You know, like I said, I'm very open to it. And when I started the arts, you know, I picked up a vice, you know, a bad habit, which was drugs.
Hmm.
You know, in order for me to keep up with that demand of getting into art walks and you know, running my business, I needed to fuel it, and the bad choice for me was artificial fuel, which
Hmm.
was drugs. And I'm not ashamed to say the type of drugs that a lot of people, you don't hear them talk about this, but it was crystal meth, bro. It was the nasty one. It was the fucking like cheap, and it worked as far as firing the dopamine, you know,
Yeah.
and boom, and then before you know it,
You're up.
you're building a fucking house, you know. Yeah, for me, it was art, and I was jamming. Like, damn, people were like, "Damn, fool, what are you?" You know, they wouldn't say it, you know, but it was, yeah, it picks up, it catches up. You know, at first I was like able to, you know, control it in my own fucking mind. You know, this is how I rationalize it, right? In my own mind, I was like, yeah. So I'll take a break. You know, it was a constant on and off. For 4 years, bro. Finally, it took a toll on me, man. You know, it took a toll on me, and I had a meltdown. I mean, I got into the some great art festivals. Laguna Beach. Anybody's out from out here, they'll know Laguna Beach is like the mecca for the arts. And
Mhm.
I was able to get into the sawdust as a visiting artist, because you have to be a resident to even to participate, and to get in there was just it was an honor, bro. I was like, wow. And that's where my breakdown, bro. Everything, you know, I had to drive like 2 hours to get there because I moved out Laguna. I'm over here in San Jacinto Mountains, and I'm just like, man, I was just on fumes, bro. Mentally, physically, everything's catching up, you know. Money wise, I was sleeping on the side of the road, bro, because I didn't want to drive 2 hours, or I didn't have enough for gas. So I had a meltdown, man. I threw away my phone, literally just chucked my phone on the canyon, and I went incognito from social for 1 whole year. I was in my own dungeon. I was in a dungeon full of shame, depression, loneliness. You know, fueled by drugs too. You know, and it wasn't until I'm 130 or 106. I don't even remember, bro. But I'm about 140 days clean. Clean.
That's
The
awesome.
reason I don't remember is because I don't give it that credit. You know,
Mhm.
fuck it. I'm done with that crap. You know what I mean? I'm done. I don't celebrate like a birthday, bro. You know, I'm like, I don't want to even give it credit, but trust me, I feel great. I'm clean. You know, I pulled my shit out of that dungeon by taking, again, full responsibility. You know, full responsibility. I dove into some of the works with Brené Brown.
Yeah.
She helped me realize where I was at, and she helped me realize where I was going. And that was straight into a pine box, bro. Straight to a pine box via suicide, you know? So
Mhm.
that scared the shit out of me. David Goggins, bringing that up, that book helped me a lot. Because, you know, that book helped me a lot too. And the arte, brother. You know, I'm like, dude, I need to get back in this shit. And then sure enough, I sent the app. I was approved. And picking up that shovel was exactly what I did. I went to my friend's ranch. He needed some work, and I literally picked up the shovel.
Wow.
Literally, I was calling him because I owed him some artwork, and I made a list. You know, the moment I made the decision to that was it. I'm done. You know, I'm done. I'm dying. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. You know, COVID hit. COVID hit. I couldn't get into a rehab. I finally surrendered. Said, you know what? Fuck, I can't do this by myself. I need to check in. I'm getting ready to check in, and then COVID hits. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, dude, seriously. I was like, dude, I was fighting for my life because I consciously I knew I needed help, and I had no choice but to go inward. You know, and I've been a person that ran away from spirituality my whole life. You know, I never talked about, you know, religion, God, or any of that, and I would just kind of, you know, wouldn't want to talk about it. And finally, it's like, oh no, I need to check in, man, mentally myself, and I'm proud, man. You know, there's only a few moments I've been proud of my life, and you know, being able to pull myself out of that gutter during COVID. I'm fucking proud, bro. You know, I really am, because it was hard. It was hard. It was hard. Now I'm just great. Now I'm grateful, man. You know, to be where I'm at, to fucking sit here and chop it up with you, brother. You know, it's a blessing, man. I'm super grateful, and I'm open about this, man, for many reasons, but mainly, if anybody has family members, anybody has, you know, or any person who's even watching this that may be going through that suffering in silence, man, just to give them hope that there's a way out of the fucking tunnel, brother. There's hope, and it's there. You can do it. I believe in you. You can reach out to me. You know, any way I can help. It's still, you know, still hard, but once you decide, and once, you know, that's never gonna end, right? I mean, it's gonna be hard, man. Regardless of what you do, it's gonna be hard. Knowing how to frame that, and your perspective on how to attack that shit, I think that's the key, right?
100%.
Mental.
Man, this thing has been straight just gasoline on the fire. It's so good. I know people are going to watch this for years and come back to it because it's just that good, Franky.
Wow, man. No, appreciative, man. It's my first one, so that's awesome.
I've got a question for you,
Yep.
though. So let's say that, you know, you've witnessed the transition of art, even though you weren't in that field, between when the time pre-social media hit all the way now, where, I mean, if you're not on social media as an artist, pretty much you're dead in the water for
Yep.
where a lot of people are able to find you and look at your work.
Absolutely.
How have you approached social media, and the way that you put out your artwork on social media, and the way that you interact with your fans out there? What does that look like for you? How important is it to you getting back up there and telling your story and really living the next, you know, 10, 15 years of your life through this next journey? What does that look like for you using these tools?
It's a great question, brother, because you know, this is all new to be able to market myself as an artist, and it's always hard to be vulnerable, right? So I think once I made the decision to go vulnerable and hit that play button, that's where I'm at right now. You know, going live. I got to go live. We have no choice. Like you said, right now we have no art walks. We have no events. We don't have shit. As an artist, how are we going to show it? You know, it's this camera. And
Yeah.
it's the scariest one, right? It's like, but that's what I'm doing now. What was I doing before? I was old school, you know. I was doing the events, you know, doing live paintings. I wrote some notes here. It was old school, person to person. You know, that was what it was before. I did a little bit of Facebook. Didn't quite understand it, to be honest with you. I did some Instagram, a few posts here, but I didn't quite understand it. You know, I know I needed to put a budget, something to be more consistent, to get some stuff out there. So I'm diving into learning, you know, that whole aspect right now, a funnel, you know, and just, I build my own webpage through Wix. So that's one thing. I think my strongest thing I have right now is the email list, you know, which is just 500, you know,
That 500 is a list of 500 active buyers. Who cares?
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. But,
Who
you
cares?
know, yeah, you're right. I'm hard on myself because it should be 5,000 if I would have just done a few things right. Because I was out there in the public, a little bowl, with a free something, would have been nice. Yeah. Was I doing that? Hell no, man. Little things. I'm like, dude, I put so much legwork in now, though. In retrospect. So now I'm figuring out that I really want to build, like you said, the email list. But there's so much stuff, man, that you can do, like you said. There's so many platforms. For me, Instagram works well. I like Instagram, but the algorithms are just terrible. I think they're like, what is that, 1%? I mean, dude, that 1 year I spent hibernating, I saw the algorithm difference big time, because I would post one and I would get like 30, 40, like right away likes, that kind of gives me a gauge of who's seen it. Now I post some, man, an hour goes by, I'm like, damn, dog, I know it's a good piece. They're pushing me, and I'm at that stage right now. I'm like, dude, I need to have a budget so I can, allocate it to marketing.
Right.
So I'm like, so it's even though I've done 17 years of business in the wireless side, it's all the same, man. But it's just, like I said, man, it takes me a few before I really connect and find the right people, or me learn it, and do and implement it and execute it. I think that's always been my weakness, was execution, executing things, knowing we all know what we got to do, right?
Yep.
But execution has always been my weakness, and that's what I'm working on right now, execution, so basically I don't have nothing for marketing.
And I got to tell you, I think one of your biggest superpowers is your ability of self-awareness.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And I think that goes so far with what you're trying to do and the impact you're looking to have, whether that be through your art, whether that be through the connections and telling your story. Just that level of self-awareness. It's very, very rare that I find that in other human beings. And it's so wonderful when you see it. It's like, man, like, what an incredible superpower to be blessed with.
Yeah, no, thank you, brother. Thank you. That's awesome. I got to credit that. A lot of mentors out there, but Gary Vee really drove the nail, and it's just removing the ego, really, It's just the ego is the one that fucks it up for everybody, right?
Well, I was really digging into this. Where the ego screws us up is that it either wants to go super high and we boast, or it's super low, and it's very hard to keep it in that middle range where it really should be, right? We either want to be, I'm the biggest, baddest thing that's ever walked the face of the earth, or I'm the worst piece of shit that's ever existed.
Yeah.
And putting that and calibrating it in that middle zone of being like, I know where my strengths are, and I'm self-aware enough to know where my weaknesses are.
Yeah.
Putting the systems in place to optimize both, and kind of put those barriers in there, and whether those barriers are other people, whether that barrier is yourself, and really putting that thermostat to where it's constantly pushing you a little bit up into the positive and keeping you from those circumstances to pull you back down into the negative.
Absolutely, bro. You hit it right in the money, man. By you saying that right now, it just took me to Eckhart Tolle. I listen to him a lot, and I used to live I used to live in the past, right? All my pity parties, whatever. I lived in the past, and then if I was living in the future, I was way up here, like you said, like yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fucking buy an island, whatever the fuck. I was never in the now.
Yeah.
It was either in the past, having a pity party, or I was over here fucking buying islands, but never in the fucking now, bro. And that's what I'm focusing right now, is the now, being self-aware, removing the ego, and then just like, bam, all right, let's knock it out. The power list. I'm diving into the power list, with our coach, Andy Frizella. Just implementing little things, just executing, like I said, man. Talk is cheap, bro. Talk is cheap.
Lip service don't do anybody no good except for you.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that, because at the end of the day, man, I'm just not afraid to pick up the fucking shovel, straight up. And then that's one thing that used to stop me a lot, was that ego. What the fuck? I'm a top 10 artist, man. I'm fucking bad at it. I'm kicking ass. I don't pick up a shovel. That's the shit that was going in my head. I ain't gonna go get a part-time job. What kind of shit is that? It's all ego, bro. Now I'm like, fuck no, dude. I'm hitting like I'm literally, taco shop, the taco trucks
Mhm.
that are posting up everywhere because they shut down their business and they got to
Yeah.
provide for their family. They got to pay bills. They're straight up on. You should have some of them guests, bro. They're grinding. Well, guess what? I'm taking my prints, prints bagged up, ready to go, and I go out there and hustle my prints, straight busking art,
Mhm.
and it's taking a picture and just promote, bro. With an ego, you're not gonna do that, man. If your ego is so brutal, you're just not gonna do it. You remove that ego. Don't get me wrong, it's hard. I have to talk myself to that, but I know that's what I have to do, and I just tell that voice to shut the fuck up. I'm gonna go, and yeah, something good always comes out of it.
Dude, let's
Something
end
good.
it right there. That was straight perfect of an ending for us to do. Where can people find you on social media and how can they get in contact with you?
Franky Castle, Franky with a Y, castle, like a castle, .com. That's my page, my website. And then Instagram is at Franky Castle. You just add a 1 on there. But my webpage will direct you to all that. And that's it, man. I'm going to be doing a lot more lives, a lot more action, and a lot more, especially my Instagram story I was telling you about. I like to show the behind the scenes, of what I do, my processes, how I do prints, and just try to empower other artists that are suffering right now too. There's a lot of little things that I've learned through 4 years. No, I'm just gonna give it away.
I
I'm just
love
gonna give it away, guys, straight up. I know I believe in the karma. I believe in that positivity. I'm gonna give it away. So
I
that's
love
it.
it. Guys, if you're not following Frankie yet, go do that right now. I promise you it's going to be the best follow you make all year long.
You're the best, bro.
Thank you so much for being a guest. I've really valued this time, man, and I really appreciate it. And I know our audience loved this call. Guys, go ahead and drop some comments, smash that like button because this video was fire.
Awesome, bro.
Frankie, thank you so much, man.
Hey, thank you, bud. I appreciate it, man. That was awesome.